Hello boys and girls, this is Miss Anna and this is my kitty Emma. Look, it's raining outside today. Do you know what is nice to have on a rainy day? An umbrella. Let me show you mine. I have a red umbrella. I feel dry and safe under my umbrella, and I can still enjoy the rainy day. You're welcome to join me if you'd like to. My umbrella has room for everyone. It will accept anyone, no matter who you are. Today, I would like to read you a book called The Big Umbrella. The Big Umbrella by Amy June and Juniper Bates. By the front door. There is an umbrella. It is big. It is a big, friendly umbrella. It likes to help. It likes to spread its arms wide. It loves to give shelter. It loves to gather people in. It doesn't matter if you're tall. Or hairy. Or plaid. It doesn't matter how many legs you have. Some people worry that there won't be enough room under the big umbrella. But the amazing thing is, there is. There is always room. The end. Did you like the story about Big Red Umbrella, boys and girls? The big umbrella had room for everyone. No one wants to feel left out or excluded. The umbrella kept all the people safe and protected from the rain. And the story teaches us that there is also room for everyone in this world, in our country, our community, and our families. We should be helpful and kind to each other, even our four-legged friends. Let's go inside, and I'm going to teach you how to make your own big umbrella. And we'll use different faces, people, pets, and help our umbrellas grow big and include everyone too. I'm going to teach you how to make a collage. A collage is a piece of art when you use various materials. For example, construction paper, buttons, photographs, magazine clippings, noodles, dried flowers, toys, anything you can find around. Let's go! For our collage, you will need the following materials. A sheet of construction paper. You will use as a background. I chose white, but it can be any color. A sheet of red tissue paper to make our umbrella. Assorted pictures, magazine clippings, or drawings you can find of people and animals that you would like to include under your umbrella. See if you can find different objects in your house like crystal nuggets, plastic gems, noodles, buttons, maybe some unwanted toys, dried flowers to make our collage more interesting. A pair of scissors, a glue stick, a pencil, and crayons. The first step is to draw an outline of your umbrella with pencil. It kind of looks like half a circle. Be sure you make it large, because our umbrella needs to be big and wide to have room for everyone. Next, tear up or cut up pieces of red tissue paper that you will be gluing inside of the circle that you just drew. Go ahead and glue your squares inside the circle. It's okay if they overlap. It should look like this. Next step is to glue all the pictures of people and animals you found. You might have to ask an adult to help you cut them out first. And after this, we're going to go ahead and glue all the objects we found on our collage to make it more beautiful. And here are the images I chose to put under my umbrella. Do not forget to include yourself. Do you see me and my dog? I used glass nuggets and noodles to make the umbrella's eyes and mouth. And did you notice I put a toy shark? A lot of people are scared of sharks, and some people do not treat them right. And the last thing I did, I drew rain droplets using crayons. It is a rainy day after all. I hope you enjoyed our lesson today. Goodbye.
Good morning, boys and girls. I'm Miss Anna, and I'm in front of the Westmoreland Museum of American Art. It has a nice, diverse collection of American paintings, sculpture, and furniture. Let's go inside. There is a painting I would like you to see. And here is the painting, boys and girls. It's called The Dutch Boy. It was painted by an American artist, Waldo Peirce, in 1945. Let's look at it. I see a beautiful summer day, and there are kids playing baseball on the background. But the main focus of this painting is this boy. I can tell he's also a baseball player. He has a baseball bat in his hands, and there is a catcher's glove on the bench. He must be a catcher. But why do you think he's not playing with the rest of the kids? What is he thinking? Do you think he might be taking a break? Or maybe he wasn't invited to play? Have you ever been left out? When we are not accepted, we feel sad and lonely. And today I'm going to read you a book. It's called The Invisible Boy by Trudy Ludwig. It's about the boy Brian. Brian was not noticed by his classmates, and he felt invisible. He was always alone and by himself, kind of like this boy in this painting. Let's read.
The Invisible Boy, written by Trudy Ludwig and illustrated by Patrice Barton. Can you see Brian, the invisible boy? Even Mrs. Carlotti has trouble noticing him in her classroom. She is too busy dealing with Nathan and Sophie. Nathan has problems with what Mrs. Carlotti calls volume control. He uses his outside voice inside too much. And Sophie whines and complains when she doesn't get her way. Nathan and Sophie take up a lot of space. Brian doesn't. The story is called The Invisible Boy. Is Brian really invisible? No, he's just a boy like the other kids. But why do you think, boys and girls, the teacher does not notice him? Brian is a quiet child who does not attract a lot of attention to himself. He is shy. When the bell rings for recess, Micah and JT take turns choosing kids for their kickball teams. The best players get picked first, then the best friends of the best players, then the friends of the best friends. Only Brian is left, still waiting and hoping. JT glances at Brian's direction and just as quickly looks away. We've got enough players for each team, he tells the others. Let's play ball. Look, boys and girls. Something tells me that Brian doesn't have many friends. Nobody picked him. Look how sad he looks. He feels left out and excluded. In the cafeteria, Madison and her friends talk about her birthday party. The rope swing over the pool was awesome, says JT. Yeah, so was the water slide, adds Fiona. That was the best pool party ever. I'm so glad you guys had fun, says Madison. Everybody did, except Brian. He wasn't invited. Poor Brian. He's not a popular boy in class. Nobody pays attention to him. Notice, boys and girls, how the illustrator is using different colors to paint children. But Brian is left black and white. He's all alone, all by himself. How would you feel if you were Brian, the only child who was not invited to a birthday party? Lonely? Sad? At choosing time, while the other kids play board games and read, Brian sits at his table, doing what he loves to do best. He draws fire-breathing dragons, scaling tall buildings, space aliens locked into intergalactic battles, greedy pirates digging for treasure, and superheroes with the power to make friends wherever they go. Brian is quite an artist. Look how many imaginary friends he has. I bet Brian can be a very good friend. He has a good sense of humor. Let's look at some of his pictures. The guy with the marshmallow on his stick is saying to the dragon, "Thank you for toasting my marshmallow." Then a space alien who is saving the other alien is saying, "I got you now." I see a pirate being disappointed that he didn't find gold in the treasure chest, saying, "Crackers, arr!" And his buddy parrot saying, "Yay!" Then I see a superhero. Notice a letter B on the chest, B for Brian, saying hi to his friend, and his friend is giving him a cookie. "Hi friend, have a cookie." Brian is funny. On Monday morning, Mrs. Carlotti introduces Justin, a new student, to the class. Brian smiles shyly at him. Some of the other kids sneak looks at Justin, trying to figure out if he's cool enough to be their friend. They haven't quite made up their minds yet. At lunch, Madison and JT watch Justin eat with chopsticks. "What's that?" asks Madison as she points at Justin's food. "It's bulgogi." "Bull what?" Boys and girls, have you ever seen or eaten with chopsticks before in an Asian restaurant? Not all cultures use forks. Bulgogi is a popular dish in Korea. Bulgogi. It's Korean barbecued beef. My grandma made it for me. It's really good. Do you want to try some? There is no way I'd eat bulgogi. And the kids laugh. All of them. That is, except Brian. He sits there wondering, which is worse, being laughed at or feeling invisible? Boys and girls, why do you think children are laughing at the new boy Justin? Justin is from another country where they have different traditions and different food. It's not very nice of them to laugh at the food he's eating and say mean things to him. How does it make Justin feel? Different? Not accepted? What do you think his classmates should have said instead? Maybe ask Justin how to say the name of his food right? Or ask him how it is made? Ask Justin what other food he likes. I see Brian feels sad for Justin. He knows the feeling of being excluded. The next day, when Justin goes to his cubby to put away his backpack, he notices a piece of paper with his name on it. And that is what the paper says. Justin, I thought that bulgogi looked good. Brian, yum. And here's a picture of Brian with chopsticks appreciating the Korean food Justin was eating. At morning recess, Brian finds a piece of chalk on the ground and starts drawing away. You're Brian, right? Yeah. Thanks for the note. Justin appreciates the fact that Brian wrote him a note to make him feel better. Brian is not invisible to Justin. Children, notice how the artist added some color when he drew Brian, but he still has a little bit of black and white left. Hey Justin, Amelia calls out from the tetherball court. You're up next. Sorry, I gotta go, says Justin. By the way, that's a really cool drawing, he adds before taking off. In class, Mrs. Carlotti asks the kids to team up in twos or threes for a special project. The kids scurry around the room to pair off. Brian heads toward Justin. "I'm already with Justin," says Amelia. "Find someone else." Brian looks at the floor, wishing he could draw a hole right there to swallow him up. Brian is all by himself, all alone again. And look, he's back, invisible again, all black and white. Mrs. Carlotti said we can have up to 3 people in our group. We are only 2. Come on, Amelia. Let him work with us. Okay, I guess. How nice it is of Justin to think of Brian and invite him to his group. Brian is turning color again. Mrs. Carlotti gives the class directions for the project. Your assignment is to work together to write a story about what you see in that paragraph. Use your imagination and have fun. Whoa, cool, says Amelia. What kind of people do you think would live in houses like that? I don't know, but I bet Brian could draw them to go with our story, says Justin. Brian smiles as he takes out his lucky pen. Remember, Brian is a good artist. Look how much fun they're having at the table with their project. The crooked story we made up on the spot, it says on the chalkboard. And here we see Justin, Amelia, and Brian presenting their project to the class. Do you think children liked it? I bet they did. Look at their awesome drawings and cool hats. A shark hat and a dinosaur hat. Justin has a patch over his eye. He must be a pirate. They had so much fun together. It's lunchtime again. Brian's least favorite part of the day. Another 20 long minutes of kids talking and laughing with everyone else but him. "Brian!" he hears someone shout. "Hey, Brian, over here!" Brian turns and sees Justin waving him over. Amelia nods at Brian as he makes room for him at the table. "Cookie? Thanks." Maybe, just maybe, Brian's not so invisible after all. The end.
Did you see, boys and girls, how sad and lonely Brian felt at school every day because his classmates ignored him? To finish our lesson, we are going to do a little activity and we will talk about the words included and excluded. And then we will practice what you might want to say to make someone feel welcome.
We are going to talk about the words included and excluded and discuss what they mean. Included means to be part of a group, to be together with other children. Look at this picture. Everybody is included. Everybody is happy. They're holding hands. They're all part of a group. Included. Excluded, on the other hand, means to be left out, not invited, to be alone, all by yourself. And we can see this boy standing alone, being not part of a group. He is excluded. Now we are going to fill in a chart using the words included and excluded. We are going to look at a few things: how it might feel to be included or excluded, how it might sound or look like. The very first one, how it feels. When we're included, we feel happy or grateful to be part of a group. Joyful. I am giving the word included a happy face. When someone is excluded, they feel sad and lonely, disappointed. And here's an unhappy face with a tear. Excluded. Now let's think how it might sound when someone is included or excluded. When someone is included, we might hear friendly phrases like this. Come and play with the rest of us. Do you want to be our friend? Would you like to sit with us at lunch? And here's a picture of Brian. He is invited by Emilia and Justin to join them for their art project. Everybody is happy to be included. When someone is excluded, we might hear words like this. You can't play with us. You are not our friend. You can't sit with us. These are not kind words. They are hurtful words. And here's Brian, hurt, alone, all by himself, excluded. And last, we're going to look how it might look like to be included or excluded. So when someone is included, you might see children inviting others to participate. You might see children playing and working together. Nobody is alone. And here's our boys, Emilia, Brian, and Justin, all working happily together at a table, talking and smiling. They are all part of a group. They are included. If someone is excluded, you might see some children are being ignored. Maybe someone is left out. You might notice a child who sits, works, or plays alone, being not part of a group. Remember Brian sitting all alone at lunch, all by himself? He was excluded. Remember, boys and girls, if you see someone sitting alone by themselves, maybe looking sad, either it is in a classroom, or at lunch, or at the playground, come up to them. Ask them how they are. See if they would like to join your team, or your table, or your group. Ask them if they could sit with you, or play with you. That would be a kind thing to do. Be kind to one another. Hello friends, this is Miss Anna again. Look where I am. I am inside of an old castle. Do you know who lives here? A knight. And next door to him, in a cave, lives a dragon. We are going to meet them later. But first, I would like you to watch a short video clip from the movie Tangled. Please pay attention to what people are doing and how they are feeling. Have you noticed how happy everyone was in this video? People were smiling, holding hands, dancing, playing music, Everyone was getting along. How do you feel when you get along with others? Happy, right? But what if you don't? What if you don't get along with other people? What if someone is fighting nearby? How does it make you feel? Sad, frustrated, or maybe angry? Well, today I'm going to read you a book. It's called The Knight and the Dragon. Ready? The Knight and the Dragon. Story and pictures by Tomie dePaola. Once upon a time, there was a knight in a castle who had never fought a dragon. And in a cave not too far away was a dragon who had never fought a knight.
Hi, children. I'm a knight. Do you like my castle? I've heard that knights supposed to fight dragons. Do you think I should fight the dragon who lives next door to me? Hi, children. I am the dragon. I live in a cave. I'm not very scary. I need to work on it. Dragons are supposed to be scary so they could fight knights.
One day the knight went to the castle library and took out all of the books he could find on dragon fighting. And here is our princess. She works in the castle library. She's very smart as she reads lots of books and knows answers to lots of problems.
Hi, knight. Why do you want to fight the dragon? Because everyone tells us that knights and dragons are supposed to be enemies. We must fight. Children, do you think they should fight?
So the knight began reading how to fight dragons. Meanwhile, back at the cave, the dragon had rummaged through all the things from his ancestors and found some books on knight fighting. And then he started reading about how to fight knights. The knight began to build some armor. Armor is a metal covering worn by knights and soldiers to protect their bodies in battle. Do you see the knight pouring hot metal, looks like liquid, to form a shape? It appears to me that our knight is very good at building things. The dragon practiced swishing his tail. Meanwhile, back at the castle, the knight is polishing his lances. A lance is a weapon that looks like a long pole. He is sharpening his sword, checking if his bow is straight, painting his shield. The knight is very talented. Meanwhile, back at the cave, our dragon is looking in the mirror. He's practicing at making scary, angry faces. See his sharp claws and teeth? He's getting good at it. He's roaring. I think he's ready. He looks pretty scary to me. Look at his big teeth and red eyes. The knight and the dragon are trying to look and act tough because they have been told that knights and dragons are enemies, and so they must fear each other. The fight day is near, and the knight and the dragon went outside to practice their fighting skills. The knight is running super fast, trying to attack a pretend dragon he built out of wood. The dragon is running fast and trying to shoot fire. The knight gets stuck on a tree, and the dragon is trying one more time. Puff! Just a few fireballs. He is exhausted. Fighting is hard. But they kept practicing and practicing. Practice makes perfect. The knight finally crashed his wooden dragon, and the dragon made some big fire. Finally, the knight and the dragon were both ready. They sent each other a letter and set the time for the fight. And here's the day of the fight has arrived. The knight is on his horse. Dragon is showing his sharp teeth. How do you think they feel? Brave? Maybe scared? And they start running at each other very fast. What do you think is going to happen? They missed. The dragon fell on his belly. The knight's horse fell down. But the knight is not going to give up that easy. He's back on his horse with his lance in his hand, galloping towards the dragon. And they missed again. Look, the dragon ended up in a lake, all wet. His tail has a fish on it, weeds on his head. And look at our knight. Whoa, he ended up all the way up in a tree. He lost his shoe. His lances are all broken. They are just not good at fighting. Look who else we see here. The princess who happened to pass by in her carriage. The princess gave the dragon the outdoor cookbook, and the knight got a book on how to build a barbecue. Barbecue is another word for grill. Why do you think the princess is giving them these books? I think you're right. Dragon can use fire to cook food. He might become a good cook. And the knight is very good at building things. Maybe he can build a grill. The dragon and the knight started reading their books. Look how cozy they look together, sitting next to each other. They do not have to be enemies. They can be friends. Do you think they really wanted to fight? They did it because they thought that knights and dragons are not supposed to be friendly, but they can be friends. Whoa, the knight has built an amazing grill. Look, he used his shield and armor to make it. His helmet is used for the barbecue sauce. And our dragon has made these terrific, gigantic hamburgers. He's blowing fire to cook them. I bet those will be delicious. Look what the flag is saying. K and D. It stands for knight and dragon. Knight has a silent K in the word. The knight and the dragon have opened a restaurant, K and D Barbecue. Not only they are happy now, but so are all the people around them. The end. Did you like this book? It taught us a lesson. Sometimes we might think that there are people we can be friends with. Some people might say that boys can only be friends with boys and girls with girls. Can boys be friends with girls? Or girls with boys? Of course. Can you be friends with someone who is younger or older than you? Yes. What if the person looks differently than you, has different hair color, a different eye color? What if their body moves differently, or they talk differently? Would you still be friends? Absolutely. Some people might think that you could be friends with certain people and not the others. But the dragon and the knight found out it's not true. They decided it's better to talk to each other, to work together, than fight. It made them feel both better. It's better to be friends than enemies. I hope you learned that you could be friends with everyone. Do you think you could get along with someone who is different than you? I'm sure you can. We all can get along. Goodbye.